how do you realistically funnel your goal into? Is it going to be Carl? Is it going to be Tatsuri, Zanny, or even Miggy? What's it going to be for Boom Esports?
Yeah, I feel like the identity here for this draft in game number 5 here for Boom Esports is very similar to what me and Isaac was talking about with the draft in game number 1 for them. Like, obviously locking in the Hino into the mid lane. So once again, having finite resources, having to spread it far and thin, and ultimately was the downfall of their team, right? So they're trying to run this a second time around. Hopefully it's going to be enough for them. They do have Miggy on his prize pick, the Dharma coming through as well. So hopefully he can get some pickups into the back line and some surprises that's really going to overthrow these team fights into the favor of Boom Esports.
Yeah, the Clash lane's definitely going to play a pivotal role in looking for those big initiations, right? For the side of Nongshim RedForce, the Ata in the hands of Ratel will be the primary and secondary frontline alongside Namu's Lianpo in pushing the vision line, giving sufficient room for Seri, for Illusion, and Haku to do the DPS that they need to do in the map here. So maybe Miggy as a Clash link this game, we might see him go for the tank build on towards Dharma here. They definitely need to buy something like a Blazing Cape or Venomous Staff to limit healing coming in from the side of Nongshim RedForce.
Exactly. I mean, the healing is pretty much, it's self-sufficient, right? It's no longer like a healing of all your teammates, because the heal's going to come from, obviously, Yao with his abilities, and then obviously Arthur as well with his sustain. So, like you said, they need to build anti-heal, but it's less about sort of like that crowd healing. It's more about kind of a single target trying to run down and burst down Yao and Arthur's potential of healing themselves.
Which is true, right? You really need to limit them as much as possible. Don't give them any sort of lead through itemization mistakes here, as we do see the early 2v2 towards the mid lane, giving priority over to the side of Illusion, giving him the early access towards the jungle.
Yeah, being able to clear out the mid wave a little bit faster here for the side of Tatsuri, but able to take away that Spiketail Beast, but also take a bit of a blade on the cheek there. Definitely showing that Illusion knows how to land those blades.
But so far, Tatsuri getting so much resources for the team, and towards the bottom side, we do see Seri successfully picking up that Fire Beak for the team as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just trading a little objectives here is definitely the aim of the game, right? And I mean, Nongshim, they can afford to lose this game, whereas Boom, however, cannot. So I feel like Nongshim are playing with a little bit more of a breeze between their knees, whereas Boom are facing against a rainy storm.
It's the difficulty that they are set in, right? If we look at it through like multiple best of ones, Boom Esports needs to climb 2 best of ones repeatedly to force it into ultimate battle. For Nongshim RedForce, they are playing the game in like a lower difficulty. They have more room of error compared to Boom Esports. Every single misplay that Boom does from here on out is gonna be added pressure into limiting their potential comeback.
Ooh, dive in at level 4 there. Trying to get the takedown of Illusion very early on, but actually casting out the ultimates of both Tatsuri as well as Carl there. And not getting a result is a little bit of a blunder here for Boom Esports, and maybe a sign of those mistakes that we were talking about moments ago.
Yeah, and this is very aggressive stuff coming in by Tatsuri and also Carl, forcing the flash away from Illusion. So for the next 2 minutes, or 90 seconds at the very least, Illusion will be a juicy piece of steak that Tatsuri and Carl would love to be getting their hands onto.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he can only kind of gather and create as much distance there with the guard, her grave, but we can see here that Ratel's having like the time of his life here. There's just not enough damage coming from Migi just yet to get the rundown onto Ratel.
Yeah, Ratel is super duper tanky here. That's the perks of having a battle tank like Ata Baishi in towards the Clash lane. You have so much laning prowess coming in from this one pick, and towards the mid game, you can start giving resources to the team and funneling more resources into jungle assassin carries like Haku or late game carries like Siri or Illusion.
Oh, okay. Just doing a bit of a chip damage there, getting a bit of a knock up there for the couple blades, but quite missing out there. Expecting Miggy to be in one space. I feel like that was probably a predestined decision that shouldn't have been made there, but it's going to be the ghost ship that forces away Tatsuri. He does get the ultimate battle, the ultimate finisher there from the Kong Ming, but it's not going to be enough damage just yet.
Ooh, and that was a very aggressive play coming in for the side of Rotel here. Utilizing the S1 flash to gap post against Tatsuri and pulling him back with the enhanced basic attack coming in from Atar's spell too. And then it forces a 1-for-1 flash exchange, Rotel and Tatsuri here. So both of these spells, in terms of the common spell flash, wouldn't be available coming in for this specific Tyrant fight here. In the very least, this early game is looking pretty stable coming in for both teams. None of the both sides are actually giving an ounce for either of their teammates.
Yeah, nothing's really shifted here just yet. Maybe it could be it's noticed, right? Because obviously the neutral objectives are online and they're around about 4 seconds. So this is probably where we're going to see a bit of a shift of focus here for both of these two teams. Tatsuri being found out into that brush there. Namu gets the knock with the burst ram as well. But also just not having to force the flash, but using that second skill just to get out there alive. Means that Tatsuri is going to be able to reform and go into a potential team fight here. But maybe not the same being said here for Miggy. He's getting hit with those couple blades and forced a retreat here.
That was a full freshly force being jabbed into Miggy's face there. If Miggy went for the traditional build, that could have been an easy pickup coming in for the side of Nongshim RedForce here. And we do see both roamers here getting the vision for this specific river. None of the both teams want to relinquish control over this Tyrant as of this point.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Boom needs to kind of like make sure they gain that Azure Golem, right? Because I mean, if they lost the Tyrant fight and then lose the Jing, that could just mean that Haku gets the Tyrant, gets an Azure Golem, and then goes for his own. And then really, that would be a trouble city for Carl.
Yeah, it could be trouble city because when we talk about like having double jungle assassins, you really need them to pocket the most gold in the game. If they somehow become like second in gold, third in gold, you know for a fact that the jungle assassin doesn't come into fruition in terms of damage, in terms of like being tanky, if they really do go for those tankier builds like we seen from the Jing, right? We saw like what? The Foscar Embrace, the Blazing Cave, all these are potential items if you want to play the semi-jungle assassin style, which needs one thing, gold, very important.
Yeah, gold is definitely the thing that makes everything go around here on the side of Honor of Kings in terms of getting itemization and in terms of getting that outplay of the enemy team as well. But Tyrant does go successfully over to the side of Nongshim RedForce. The gold lead, however, is definitely in the favor of Boom just for now. Tatsuri has to get out of that one. This is a bit of a sticky situation. Draw quite missing that ultimate there, which is going to be very impactful here. The winning strategy does come through, but gets blocked by Namu.
With Starfall here coming in from Haku is super duper aggressive here, baiting out so many of these key spells from the members of Boom Esports. Tatsuri wouldn't have flashed later on for the next upcoming 2 minutes. Draw missing that crucial Raging Sea. If he hits that, maybe we might see a potential come around from Miggy with a beautiful Truth Mantra here. And you can see the aggressive invade coming in for that Nongshim RedForce. Beautiful Ghost Ship.
Yeah, Ghost Ship is completely to separate this team here apart, but now it's going to be obviously a bit of a dive in for the contention of that Azure Golem. It does go over to the side of Illusion as well, so that's going to starve the way the Azure Golem for Carl. But First Blood does go over to the side of Boom Esports. Winning strategy is not going to be winning and getting any kills just yet.
Yeah, 1-for-1. One for the Azure Golem, 1 kill on back towards Rotel here. And you can see the aggressive movements coming in for Boom Esports to retake control on towards this Azure Golem. Overall, a very good Boom Esports win in finding the overextension coming in from Ratel's Ata.
Yeah, exactly. A good pick off there. Really kind of like blunders the front line of Nongshim RedForce just for moment's notice, but it does mean they could try and focus his top T1 here as well, but the minion's just not looking healthy enough, but they do have a second wave coming through here as well. Haku, top side of the map, just really needs to mitigate any kind of push or pressure being mounted here by the side of Boom Esports.
And take a look over to the side of the gold ranking thus far. We did talk about, hey, if you play a jungle assassin, you need to be top gold and top net worth, which is what Carl is doing so right now. And we can see top 4 in terms of gold, all members of the side of Boom Esports with a pinch of Siri at the top. So it's really good news. At the very least, out of these 4 games, this is the first time that we've seen Boom Esports control and pace themselves in the early to mid game.
Oh, exactly. And they've got the draft that they need to, right? Like, if they weren't doing this at this moment in time, I pretty much think it's a good night Irene here for the side of Boom Esports, right? Like, they would have no gold lead. It'd be very difficult for Carl to pull off such great kills, as well as Tatsuri as well. Because we're talking about that finite resource, right? And Danny seems to be very underwhelming so far. So I feel like he's taken a little bit of a hit when it comes to that resource share.
Lots of face checking in towards Tatsuri. The beautiful Ghost Ship!
Oh, beautiful Ghost Ship meant that Tatsuri had no return, and Illusion had two couple blades with his name on it. So that's going to be the kill going over to the side of Nongshim RedForce. But not only that, they're able to procure the Overlord as well.
I would say that Rattel on this Ata, he's been playing hyper aggressively, and the Ghost Ships has been really on point in giving them the lead that they are actually looking for. You can see, the moment they get the kill onto Tatsuri, all the vision line coming in from Nongshim immediately pushes into the base, into the Crimson Golem area for the side of Boom Esports.
Yeah, he's definitely be able to be the focal point here and take a lot of the damage that can be consumed here by Boom Esports as well, taking those winning strategies to the chin, taking those Jings, damage reflection as well as potential coming from Danny also. But that's the problem. When they take at least one of those damage dealers down, it then forces to just like, where do we go from here? Where's the front line? Where's Miggy going to be going from? But Rattel definitely playing very well.
Yeah, he's scouting vision actively for the team, and look at how he's just being a pain in towards the side of Boom Esports, giving so much information required for Haku, Siri, and also Illusion to properly pace themselves here. He's actively always looking for the key few targets here. Where is Miggy? Where is Carl? Can Siri and Illusion play aggressive here? He controls the river and allows space for these two members to actively play aggressive for those turret takedowns, for those aggressive pokes to the Guardian mode.
Yeah, controls the river, controls the narrative here for the side of Boom Esports. Like, they can't make the plays that they want to play if they if Rattel on Nongshim RedForce here has the intel and has the know-how of where they're going to come from. And you can kind of see here that potentially Car's like giving up on these potential team fights into the mid lane and just looking to steal away some resources from the enemy team here as the Shadow Tyrant and Overlord do come onto the line here, but Namu does find that Carl.
Wow, that was 6 cents coming in from Namu to just clear up the vision, make sure that Siri, okay, don't check that bush first. We don't see Carl on towards the map. Let me clear it for you with the Radiance. It's like, okay, job's done. Let's pick up the Golem here, and then we pace ourselves to the next objective. Very well done by the roamer.
Yeah, no one squishy enter that brush or you will not return out of that brush. Let me do my job. I am the tank. Let me get that intel. There is the Wintel here. And speaking of win, it's going to be a pickup here for Siri. He gets a takedown of the Tatsuri. Maybe even help himself to that Crimson Golem, but it's all going to be down to Miggy and Raw here to stop any advances into the rest of the enemy jungle. He's able to get that Crimson Golem away from Carl.
Siri is just dancing on the gorge as of this point, singling out Tatsuri, kiting away from Carl, and right now, with that odd number fight, Nongshim RedForce picks up an easy Shadow Tyrant for the team.
Ooh, Miggy having to use the dash over the wall there. Not quite the common skill, but just using the dash within his kit there. Obviously using Erin's ultimate just to push away the side of Nongshim RedForce, but Carl trying to find a bit of a prowl here after taking Haku's Azure Golem, but Haku is looking to repay that favor in kind. It's 2 seconds onto the gorge here. It's now available, but can Danny phase check that brush? And I feel like this, if he did decide to go for it, could have pretty much been all she wrote.
Yeah, it's a number advantage coming in for the side of Boom Esports here. Hence, Haku was like, hang on a moment. If I go here, I might be resulting our team into a deficit here. So immediately pull back, and he allowed Siri on towards the cross map to gain more of the side lane control. And right now, with the mid tower being the next available target coming in for the side of Nongshim RedForce, this might just be going down in the next few minion waves.
Yeah, a big fight maybe be ensuing here into the mid lane. You can see the Haku's looking for some kind of way in around that Azure Golem, but Miggy looks to go be the first spearhead into this one. But Rattel taking too much damage there. He's down to half a health bar, but same set to Miggy. Gets knocked up onto 2 into the wall, but it's going to take down of Rattel thanks to Carl. But can they actually get the takedown here onto Carl? But it's going to be the back line. It's going to be Haku. He's a little bit lost for words, but it's going to take down that T1, the irreparable damage onto the gorge of Boom Esports as Draw falls down.
Tatsuri though, finding the potential snipe on towards the targets coming in for side of Boom Esports. While all this is happening, that is a beautiful snipe. On point one coming in from Illusion here. Carl face checks in towards the impulse here. Doesn't get the kill, but still, throughout those trades, yes, Boom Esports gets the kills back into their pockets here. But Nongshim RedForce back-to-back mid turrets towards that mid side.
Yeah, they knew the ultimate sacrifice, right? They knew that if Ratel and Haku fell, and that meant that the distraction was there, it meant that T1 takedown, and even the bonus of that T2 was available for Siri to take up, but it's also all the setup by that knock up there, but obviously the Mirror Mirage was just so good placed here for Carl, but it just wasn't enough. It was just playing into Nongshim's hand.
All the spells were invested in towards the Ratel Ata coming in from Miggy, coming in from Carl, Mirror Domain, Truth Mantra. And you can see, Siri was just comfortably doing DPS on towards the sideline with no one being able to give any form of like pressure or whatsoever on towards the farm lane player.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely being formed here onto the side of Boom, Danny, right? Like, obviously, not quite having the moment to shine here, but I feel like it just goes back to the point you were making within the draft, is the fact that there is 3 big powerhouses onto the side of Boom, and they don't know where to put these resources. And the resources that they've already put into the members, that it looks like it's Carl and Tatsuri, and Danny's kind of fall away at the wayside here, is being a little bit of the wrong decision so far, because Nongshim have free roam of their jungle.
Free roam the jungle, every resource is going in towards the pockets of Siri and also Illusion, and you can start to see the Overlords piling in towards that bottom side of the map. Once they finish up that bottom side of the map, they will reposition themselves in towards the bottom river and look to get that Shadow Tyrant here. Everything is lining up for Nongshim RedForce to take this series in this specific game right now, Black.
Yeah, with the loss of their final T2 down to the bot side of the map here, Boom is definitely going to have to do some tending of the garden, or maybe even take some life insurance here, as obviously the defense of their T3s is now going to be crucial at most, but it's going to be all that damage. Namu is tanking it. Ratel is here as well. We see that Haku is just putting a bit of aggression on the draw, and the damage is just not enough coming through onto the side of Boom Esports.
But Boom Esports still did a valiant effort in defending their base. So no tier 3 has been taken down coming in for the base here. And you can see Namu very aggressive in his own gameplay, enforcing the positions from the side of Boom Esports. On the flip side, Carl did pick up the Azure Golem from his own base, and he does happily return to defending the base.
Yeah, I mean, Illusion there, man. Like, he's really showing that he's doing damage, right? I mean, it would be less impressive if it was the likes of Danny, Tatsuri, or Carl, who are very squishy heroes, but when you knock Draw down to around about 1/5 health with one couple blades, it's scary.
You know he's farmed up, man. You know he's farmed up. Look at him aggressively throwing out those freshly forged every once or few moments here, chunking out multiple members of Boom Esports. Every freshly forged hit gives more room for Nongshim to start crumbling the side lane towers here. The prize right now are these juicy tier 3 towers here. Once these are taken down, the hope for Boom Esports gets diminished instantly.
It does get diminished as well here. It's going to be the full front attack on that top side of the T3 as well. Miggy tries to go for a bit of a saving grace with the flash in, but it looks like more of a bit of a Harry Carry flash as Carl gets taken down as well. The winning strategy is just not hitting hard enough, especially when Namu is the victim.
It's not looking good at all for the side of Boom Esports here. Carl being the first one to fall. 4v5 for the next fight, missing out the Truth Mantra here with the minion waves marching in mid and top. This might be the final moments of Boom.
It may be the final moments of Boom here with the minions going into the crystal here. Is this going to be the dual knockup for Miggy? Is that going to be enough to blunder the feet of Boom Esports? But it looks like all that damage from Illusion is going to be only claimed kill here onto Tatsuri, as they're looking to take a 2-0 trade here onto the side of Nongshim RedForce. Not quite having enough power in the tank to take the crystal.
That was an amazing setup here coming in from the side of Namu here, finalizing the kill on towards Tatsuri. 20 seconds, minion waves coming in. 3v5, what do you do, Boom?
What do you do, Boom? You try and just go and lay the truth down, but the truth is only hurting if you have the damage, and only the damage coming from Illusion there, as well as Siri is going to be enough here. Nongshim RedForce, they don't have the minions into the crystal, but they're going to take it. So your grand finalist number 2 is Nongshim RedForce.